For the next couple videos, we'll now start getting into the ops execution tasks. Specifically for this video, we're going to talk about strike team alignments and spontaneous volunteer management. So we skip over to the project. We're now in the strike team tab, and we see that there are already a number of strike teams that are automatically created. And depending on the overall ICS typing, we will have anywhere from 5 to 26 strike teams automatically created just because of the different typings. If you need to create an additional strike team, you simply hit the Add New Bookable Resource. Start out by calling it whatever you want. Go ahead and skip TRID for now. We want the type to be crew, and we'll probably end up hard coding this. Time zone can probably be whatever. For now, we want to try to pick just the regular coordinated universal time, and then hit save and close. And if you mess up like I just did, you should be able to go back and edit. And we'll just throw the name of the op in there. And good as new. So now we have our alpha through Zulu. We also have another one for CNG. And for the most part, that's all you'll have to worry about is just make sure that you have the teams that you want available here in this tab. And then the next step is to actually put the people that are booked and dispatched onto a specific team. So, like most operations, there's a lot of heavy lifting for the first operational period because you end up having to put people onto a specific role and a specific strike team for the first time. However, in our case, as soon as you do it once, it's going to automatically copy down to the next day's booking as well, so that you don't have to redo that work over and over. So, best practice for this process is a couple things. First of all, we want to group by the strike team. And what this will do is it will put all the people that are currently not grouped towards the top of the list. And you'll see as we start adding people to strike teams that they should float down a little bit lower. And the other tip is that we have all the different operational based qualifications over here off to the right hand side, as well as the number of deployments that each of the people has been on. And so this should give you an opportunity to mix and match different levels of skills as well as different levels of experience, so that you can put, an experienced person with some new people on each strike team. You don't accidentally overload one strike team with all the ringers and then you get a bunch of newbies on some other strike team. So I'm going to do just a couple of these as an example, and then we'll pause the video and do the rest. So we're going to put Tracy in as incident commander. She is going to be part of the CNG. And we'll see that now that we have her in a group, that will float to the bottom, and then we're now on to the next person. So Ed will be a responder. In Strike Team Alpha. And you'll notice that as I tab out, it will be saving the record kind of behind the scenes. You can see this unsaved changes. So you can either manually hit the save button here, or if you click into another record altogether, it should automatically save. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and we'll put everybody into a specific role. Okay, now I've aligned everybody into a specific role for this operational period, and they are all on a specific strike team. And if you note, we've got a couple different views here. So by default, the first view is going to be today's bookings, and the secondary view is going to be tomorrow's bookings, and both these lists will grow to about 30 people tall before you end up having to go to the next page, so they can get pretty deep. So the idea is that you would set up your different strike teams a little bit graphically like this, where you can kind of see where everyone is and what their particular role is, and then you should be able to take this information and apply it towards your 204s. So in this first round of features, we don't yet have the 204s and some of the IAP automatic, but we will be working on that as part of the EMS version 2.1. The other thing to note here is that the most common roles are at the top of the list. And so if we look here, we have the different asterisks. There's actually a whole lot of other roles that you can select for somebody, but the most common are going to be at the top. And last but not least, I do want to mention that the strike team alignment record is a different record compared to the deployment record, which is a different record compared to the registration record. They all have different purposes. The strike team alignment record is actually useful to see exactly what everybody did on a day-by-day basis. And so later on, as we gather more information, we'll be able to say, Chaitanya was a strike team leader, for 15 different operational periods across 4 different operations. Ed was a general responder across 5 different operations for a total number of 7 days. So we'll be able to get very granular with the information that we are able to collect, and we'll be able to use that in future new features inside of the EMS. The last thing we'll talk about in this video is spontaneous volunteer management. So within the project, we do have a separate spontaneous volunteer tab. If you had any already in there, you would see them on this grid, but to add a new one, you would just click on Add New Spontaneous Volunteer. From here, there's only a few fields that are required. However, if you do have the information, we want for everybody to try to put in as much detail as possible, because these lists do get shared back with the municipality, and it's important that they have the mechanisms to be able to actually contact them. And so we'll go ahead and put in a name. Hopefully we can get a phone number, put in a zip code. And if they happen to be part of an affiliate organization like one of our partner agencies, then we can put that in here, but most likely they're not going to be. The last thing, of course, is to put in whatever dates they say they're going to be there. So it'll be your option if you want to put in one day at a time and just add them each day they show up. Or if you believe that they're going to be here all the days that they say, then you can go ahead and put in the range. So when I save and close here, what it will do behind the scenes is create these records and create some additional bookings so that you can align them to a specific strike team. So let's refresh here. It's doing some stuff in the background. And now we have our person. And if we go back to the alignments and group by strike team, we can see that we don't have this person for today because we said they're actually going to start tomorrow. And so we can look at this view here for tomorrow, and we can see that we've got a booking for that person starting tomorrow. And at this point, it's the same process where we put them in as general responder, and then we'd go put them on a specific strike team. We'll throw them on Bravo. So that's it for this video. We talked about strike teams, and you should have the ability to create an additional strike team if you don't see the one that you want. We talked about putting people on a specific strike team. This will be important to make sure that these roles stay accurate. And then last but not least, we talked about spontaneous volunteers, where we can add as many as we can here, and then they'll show up automatically to be able to align them as well.